Rotaract Club of Georgetown Central and St. Kitts have begun a project to tackle the involvement of youths in violence with the help of the Guyana Prison Service. Mark Murray has more.
According to the Guyana Prison Service, some 182 youths were convicted for various crimes in 2008 alone. 9 of these are under 18 years old. So with this in mind, the Rotaract Club of Georgetown Central and St. Kitts have partnered with the Prison Service to launch a project that focuses on adolescence and violence. The project will see the production of a documentary on the challenges that lead young people to a life of crime. Director of International Service Adelia Hooper believes the documentary will prevent other youths from leading a similar life.
It is our belief that the production of this documentary will inform our other adolescents who have had the chance of viewing it, informing them of the pitfalls and traps to avoid in order to limit or prevent their involvement in crime.
Director of Prison Dale Erskine says he is pleased to have become involved in such a venture.
I think the time has come for us now to make a step further in a preventative mode, in a preventative function. And we're here today to ensure those potential persons who would want to commit crimes, that we give them an opportunity or we educate them in such a way that they can keep out of prisons.
The project will be done in both Guyana and St. Kitts and is expected to be completed by March month end. DVDs will then be distributed to high schools across the Caribbean. Mark Moore reporting for the NCN 6 o'clock news.
Agriculture Minister Robert Prasad says the ministry is intensifying its clampdown on illegal logging. He notes that the Guyana Forestry Commission will take stringent action against defaulting parties. More in this Shardalal report.
Agriculture Minister Robert Prasad says strict measures will be taken against companies that breach the Guyana Forestry Commission's logging guidelines. He says Burama and other companies who previously committed breaches have since satisfied the GFC's conditions.
2 instances with 2 of those companies who would have in the past committed breaches, overstepping, as it were, the areas that were given permission to work. They were, which I want to consider minor infractions, but they were infractions. And they have been, the GFC would have met with these 2 companies and would have let them understand what they have done, and they've accepted in writing.
Minister Prasad notes that the Commission's role extends beyond merely regulating operations within the forestry sector.
As part of the GFC's mandate is to have ensured that you have not only environmentally sound practices, but socially too. That the conditions of those who operate within the sector meet our national legal requirements, but also meet the industry guidelines.
Meanwhile, the recently implemented log export policy is expected to serve as a catalyst for more value-added activities.
There is much greater economic imperative for putting emphasis in terms of value-added within the timber sector, as we are seeking to do in other activities within the agricultural sector.
In order to clamp down on illegal logging, the Agriculture Ministry has engaged with the Brazilian government to conduct satellite monitoring of forestry resources. The ministry is also working to complete a computerized log tracking system and remote sensing mechanism to reduce illegality in traded timber this year. Reporting for the 6 o'clock news, I'm Shardalal.
Well, citizens have until tomorrow to pay outstanding water bills or face disconnection. So says GWI's National Revenue Manager, Earl Aaron. Natasha Smith has more.
The Guyana Water Incorporated is urging customers to pay outstanding bills by January 28 or face disconnection. National Revenue Manager Earl Aaron says consumers who have received estimated bills can visit the corporation's offices to have this rectified. However, he notes that estimated figures are usually corrected by GWI following meter readings.
Whilst you might have one bill which shows an estimated reading which might be high, and that has been the case, the complaint we've received. Coming to us, we will actually have an actual reading done and have your account adjusted to its position, right? So getting an estimated bill is not an excuse for not to say that you're not going to pay, right? The proper thing for you to do is to come into us and let us resolve your issue or your complaint.
Meanwhile, Director of Operations Yuri Chandy Singh says the corporation is focused on providing enhanced services to customers this year. GWI will also be moving to enhance its revenue collection and decentralize operations to allow easier access to the utility. The water company plans to take steps against persons found abusing the system and making illegal connections.
Persons may have illegal connections, they may be illegally tapped into our system, and in those cases we don't know. And so they get a free service. So that's non-revenue. But we'll be clamping down tremendously on that because we've done surveys and we're doing all kinds of monitoring of our network, and we'll be picking those persons up. And again, they will fall under the purview of the Water and Sewerage Act.
In the meantime, efforts are ongoing to have all customers metered. Reporting for the 6 o'clock news, Natasha Smith.
The Bank of Guyana will be launching a financial literacy program to sensitize citizens about the do's and don'ts when conducting business with financial institutions. Deputy Governor Dr. Gobind Ganga says this initiative aims to educate persons about the advantages and disadvantages of accessing credit and financial services. Dr. Ganga says it is also intended to strengthen financial systems. A central bank committee is currently making preparations for the nationwide launch, which is slated for next month. The Pan American Health Organization and the Health Ministry have collaborated to encourage health workers to revisit their approach when dealing with adolescents. Here's that report.
The Pan American Health Organization and the Ministry of Health have launched a 5-day adolescent health workshop. This initiative aims to ensure that health workers are prepared to deal with issues which affect adolescent development. Health consultant Claudia Brand believes that many healthcare workers often fail to tackle the root of the problems.
We all need some help with that. We need reminders of how to listen, how to respect what people are saying. And that's the main part of this workshop, is what's the difference if somebody comes into your clinic who's 6 years old or 36 years old or 16. And some of those issues come up in this workshop to do with attitude and behavior towards adolescents.
According to the health consultant, participants will be taught how to address issues such as sexuality, maternal and child health, and drug and alcohol abuse. This will ensure that the healthcare workers are equipped to provide information, advice, counseling, and clinical services aimed at promoting healthy lifestyles.
The Ministry of Health have been working on adolescent health for a number of years now, and this training has come because there are some issues around teenage pregnancy and around HIV where health workers are not feeling as if they are ready to work with adolescent patients, and this workshop will give them some skills about that.
PAHO has been feverishly working with countries in the Caribbean to develop national adolescent and youth health programs and policies. Onika Jones, this is Glock News.